India's new draft e-commerce policy has kicked up a storm, with some major entities voicing concerns that the proposed rules would have a major impact on their business models. And the bone of contention is mainly on the clause which states that e-commerce firms must ensure none of the related enterprises are listed as sellers on their websites. Now, let's first understand the proposed amendments and the definition of associated or related enterprises. Now the issue seems to be getting complex by the day. Let's see how. The government's think tank Niti Aayog has raised concerns regarding the fallback liability clause, which puts the onus on marketplace platforms like Amazon and Flipkart instead of sellers. It has also opposed some of the e-commerce policy rules, saying they were beyond the realm of the Consumer Affairs Ministry, which drafted the proposed policy. When asked about the Niti Aayog stand on the draft policy, a Consumer Affairs Minister official told Business Standard that they would take into account the inputs and feedback from key stakeholders. Wait, are you getting confused and wondering whether the government is in favor of this new draft policy? If yes, let me tell you that is a valid question and you have a point as both parties. The one that has drafted the rule and the other that is raising concerns are government bodies. And they are both headed by our Prime Minister directly or indirectly. Now, traders have also jumped into the fray and called Niti Aayog a spokesperson for international e-commerce firms for objecting to the policy changes. And they have said Niti Aayog, I quote, clearly seems to be under the pressure and influence of the foreign e-commerce giants, I unquote. Well, just to remind you that the new rules were announced amid growing complaints from India's brick and mortar retailers that Amazon and Flipkart bypassed foreign investment laws using complex business structures. So, traders were the ones who wanted the government to come up with this kind of a policy. And they have mostly been supportive of government policies, including the e-commerce rules. Recently, at an industry event, Consumer Affairs Minister Piyush Goyal had hit out at businesses, including the Tata Group, for posing some of the e-commerce draft policy rules. The Finance Ministry also highlighted some of the proposed e-commerce rules as not being investor-friendly. E-commerce firms and industry associations had earlier requested the government to rework the draft e-commerce rules. So, at this point, we can only say that many stakeholders have raised issues and a majority of them deserves to be considered seriously.
If you liked this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.